A summoner has disconnected.
You're just gonna stand?
No.
Okay.
Alright, everybody, welcome back. This is the Esports Canada solo queue here with tournament. We got RedMercy versus Placebo. This is game 3 of 3.
Man, what an intense game number 2 that was.
If you didn't watch game number 2, because this is a VOD,
yeah.
get out of here.
But go and watch it. Just go and watch it now and come back and watch this one. So game 2 was really intense. 2 Chains, 2 Kings throughout this tournament has been doing really well on his Evelyn. Really good split pushing. Both teams have been playing really well. It seems like RedMercy's figured out a bit of a synergy in their team with the Kale and the Zed. Because a lot of the teams just been like, we gotta focus. RedMercy's the best player on their team. Well, Kale ult kind of puts a stopper in that for you.
Alright, and now we're seeing literally almost the same teams. Just some of the characters I think are switched around here.
The only difference we're seeing here, I think, is
Sivir.
We're seeing a Sivir. Yeah, we're seeing a Sivir.
Now, Jarvan, was he on the same team?
Jarvan was on the same team. I think the jungler was different for last team.
That's the same team. That's the exact same
it's
team.
almost the exact same team.
Alright, this is going to be interesting. Lee Sin, actually, Lee Sin was a Vi.
There we go.
Right, so there are a couple of differences there. Possibly bans, which we actually didn't see because we jumped in a little bit late and you don't get to see bans after they've already done them. So now there's going to be posturing up here. I don't know if there's going to be an invade. I don't think there will be, and you can see everybody's taking this a bit more seriously now as it is a best of 3.
This is it. This is what gets them into the finals for first or second place.
Alright, so 2.4k gold to 2.3. Placebo already with a gold lead. That's a troll. That's just masteries. But we'll see how this all plays out. Evelyn being a little bit more bold. Of course, she is stealthed.
So the Lee Sin and the Sivir picks, I feel, are a little bit more reactive to the Kale pick. Although they could have banned that out, they decided not to. The Lee Sin, the Kale counters the Vi somewhat, as Vi is very single target oriented, while Lee Sin can move around, you know, position people around, put threats onto different people, and so Kale's not as effective against that. Sivir as well puts out more AoE damage, so we're definitely seeing a lot more area of effect and a lot more team fight displacement coming out from Placebo here, possibly to deal with the Kale.
Yes, and I don't know if it's going to be effective, but they're going to give it a shot anyways. This is game 3. Placebo definitely needs to win this one, but as does Team RedMercy. I don't know how to call this one, and I'm glad that I don't, because I had a bit of a I was leaning towards Placebo. I thought they were definitely going to be able to take this best of 3 no problem, but, you know, we saw last game, yeah. RedMercy pulled it together.
Just a couple decisions at the end really just decided the game.
Yeah. And actually the tower as well, kind of MVP there for RedMercy's team.
Right.
This is crazy. Alright, it's going to be starting red buff here for Lee Sin and starting also red, which is interesting because that's going to send the gank more towards bottom lane.
We are seeing the 1v2 switch this time. They realize that Renekton, yeah, doesn't do so hot against the Kale. We're going to send our AD carry and support up top, and we're going to send Renekton bottom. Renekton does classically do pretty well, actually, in the 1v2. Kale should be able to fare fine as well. She does get to farm with range, so we'll see how that works out.
Yeah, and trolling a little bit there with the back animation. I love that back animation.
Yeah, it definitely makes the skin worth it entirely.
Yeah. Alright, however, the long range Annie is going to be really problematic, and of course Renekton has one ward. He's going to have to place it in that tri-brush. He cannot use it to place it in his own brush.
And I feel like Kale misplaying that a little bit. Should be just, you know, content to sit back and farm under tower for a bit. She took a lot of hits early on from that Sivir, and she has to realize you can't trade HP in a 1v2 just because they have 2 health bars and you've only got 1.
Yeah. So Renekton taking a couple more shots from the Annie. It doesn't really mean too much right now, but she is going to have to obviously utilize that brush pretty well.
Little surprised that Renekton actually decided to start boots in the pot over the Doran's shield.
That could have been a free pickoff. She's still got a shot at that. Take it down. Yeah. What are you? Come on.
All right, so she does get the pink ward in the very end. Leona, for some reason, decides, no, I don't really feel like going in on it. I feel like she really could have.
Probably afraid of the
Jarvan can take a huge amount of damage there, and it's just sitting outside of tower range. She does pick up the siege minion though, which is a nice pickup for him. Kale definitely is going to be up on CS here, however.
Yeah, this is really rough. A couple more CS there, but it's still 5-11. This is going to be really tense.
Yeah, Renekton really taking a lot more damage than he should have taken. I still feel like, especially going into 1v2 and you feel like you might be taking a bunch of auto attacks, you definitely need to pick up the Doran shield.
Right.
He's taking a lot of Qs here and definitely not faring the best.
Here we go. Lee Sin's going to step in.
Lee Sin does land the kick on it, but Annie does have the stun up and the exhaust, so not in any real risk of it. Evelyn does rotate down, however, and looks like they are playing careful. So yeah, they are adapting to 2 Chain's play style of constantly roaming around and just playing it a little bit safer when she's MIA. Yeah,
very, very smart stuff there. So they're going to back off, and Annie right now I think needs to throw down a ward just to be a little bit more sure of herself with this Lee Sin. And you did say the last time there was a lane swap, you can play it one of 2 ways. Be aggressive and send your jungler to the... Oh, actually, before that, is this a kill? No, the stun doesn't go down.
Not quite the kill there. Renekton did pop Ghost. I feel like it had Flash and Ignite, maybe. But not quite, not quite.
So this is actually really good for the Renekton, but it seems like Sivir and Leona don't actually know how to play 2v1s very well because they're just letting this Kale farm.
They're kind of letting the Kale farm, but there is actually a huge difference at the moment in AD carry farms. If you'll see that Sivir is quite far ahead of Ezreal. Seems like he's been focusing more on trying to put more damage onto the Renekton.
Right. So that does balance out quite well. Alright, let's see here. Now Jarvan's going to head towards this bottom lane, possibly looking for a gank. Not going to find anything. Lee Sin will go back. And Ezreal's actually forced to farm at his own turret, which is very rare in a 2v1.
Yeah, relatively even CS scores at the moment. As we can see, gold is a little bit in RedMercy's favor just because the Kale does have that extra farm over, as does the Zed. Usually 2 Chains does seem to be a little low on the CS side when it starts. He's got to be a little bit careful here, though. I don't know if he has the mana to play happen, and it looks like Jarvan might be able to pick up first blood here. He does pick up the Ignite!
Uh-oh.
Last tick not quite going to do it. That mastery that gives you 5% of your health back once you land a kill is actually very useful for those situations where you both ignite each other and go all in.
Yeah. So smart stuff there, and that's going to be RedMercy picking up the first kill of the game. This is something that he's going to love. And he's got a massive CS lead over the Evelyn, which he did not have last time.
Yeah. Definitely a huge early game advantage for RedMercy's team. And I feel like this might swing things a little bit in their favor, especially since we already know that they're accustomed now with this team comp that they decided to try out last game. Secret strats.txt. Decided to pull it out when they were 1 loss away from losing, getting knocked out of the tournament action, and it's been working out really well for them.
Okay, so Evelyn is going to just try to push things down.
I'm a little surprised, I don't know, I feel like there he goes, he pulls the all in. He does hit level 6 way before Evelyn does, as he did pick up that kill first and is able to push her out of the lane.
Yeah, very smart stuff, and that's going to leave her behind for even longer. It looks as though she's going to be a little bit bold here and utilize the fact that Lee Sin is right around the corner. She knows that Zed does not have the ult available. And let's see if she can pull it off. No Ignite or Flash as well for Zed, which she's also aware of. Let's see how it goes.
I feel like Evelyn's, trying to hit a sweet spot at 6 at the moment, but I don't know. I mean, she does have the Crystalline Flask that does let her stay in lane quite a bit longer. I think she just wants to use up all 3 charges of those before she's forced to go all the way back. But she's going to lose a bunch of CS, and Zed's just going to be able to push out the lane again. So
let's see here. Lee Sin's going to head towards his red, the second round around, which also means that Jarvan's going to head to his own red. I'm not sure exactly why he chose to start red in the first place, but it seems to be okay. I just feel like Lee Sin's done a lot more for his lanes than Jarvan has.
Yeah, Jarvan picking up the Ninja Tabby first it's a little interesting. I see now why Renekton decided to start with the boots. He wanted to go straight into Ninja Tabby, and so I guess he'll skip Doran's shield this way. Still takes a bunch of reduced damage from auto attacks. Still see a CS lead actually for Sivir over for Ezreal, but similarly we see a CS lead for Kale to Renekton, so it's relatively even there. The main goal difference at the moment is, of course, at middle.
Very, very true.
Oh, we might see a catch over here. She does reveal herself, but doesn't, quite to get to anything with that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Evelyn roam. However, it's going to be a little bit more tricksy with the fact that if you roam bottom, you're going to probably be in a 2v1 for a couple of seconds, and that's going to feel real bad with an Annie in the mix. And if you go top, you're basically tower dive or bust, because that's where the Kale's going to be.
So Evelyn taking a lot of trade damage. I really feel like she doesn't need to be taking at the moment. Zed's just putting out huge amounts of damage on her, especially with that early game advantage now. He's got the Vampiric Scepter and the Brutalizer. Renekton trying to go in, not quite able to make it, and he does have her stun charged up, and he's not able to make it through that.
Right, and Evelyn's still trying to get something done here with the Zed. Zed just kind of flailing around, trying to find a little bit extra damage with that Q. Now Evelyn's going to go towards top. I think she very smartly revealed herself to Zed to enable this roam, but apparently she's just going to come back.
And once again, as you see, every time she's off middle, both teams are just like, we'll just stick behind the river, we'll play it safe.
Now there is Jarvan up in that top lane. Not sure exactly if he's going to be able to accomplish anything, but I'm pretty sure he has been spotted, and they will be backing off right about now.
Seeing if they can bait in RedMercy here. Not quite. He's content to just take his advantage. So yeah, as you can see here, there's no reason to take any huge risks. And that's a really great way to to pacify the whole Evelyn situation. Don't take any risks. And, oh man, he needs to get out of there.
No.
The Death Mark and the Ignite going to finish him off, and RedMercy does manage to secure his own clue back again. It's not so great for Placebo.
Yeah, and the reason that went down, and the reason Zed knew that he was there, was that ward off to the right side of mid lane. He pinged it as soon as he saw Lee Sin move up there, Q over the wall, and he just immediately knew what to do.
Yeah, definitely. As we can see, though, Lee Sin is still a little bit ahead of Jarvan, but Zed definitely carrying the momentum of the game this time around.
Right. And that's kind of what we're looking to see. I mean, I was hoping to see it last game. It definitely did not work out that way, but there we go. We've got something working out for him.
Now, this lane swap seems to be going a little bit better, actually. It is still working out in Placebo's favor, I think, as Renekton was getting quite dumpstered on last time around. It wasn't even close in comparison. This way, at least he stays relatively even in levels and relatively even in CS. Still going to be behind by a little bit, but not nearly as much as it would have been last time around.
Very true. Okay, so there's the Ezreal coming across. He's just going to push the wave down, force the Renekton to farm under tower while he goes back. And RedMercy really getting aggressive here, and he definitely can. He's got a Brutalizer and a Vamp Scepter. Really going to be putting out a lot of damage. There's the exhaust on the Kayle, however, and actually turned Civ around off of that one. In comes Jarvan, though, forces the flash away. We're going to continue to fight.
Good positioning.
Evelyn, and then just gets trapped
Forces
in the
the cactus,
volcano.
and they both flash out, actually. It's really lucky that they both had flash up, otherwise it would have been a nice pick-off for 2chainz. He's in the right place at the right time. But, just didn't quite manage to finish it off. Zed looking to pull off some sneaky stuff at the moment. And seems like Lee Sin knows that Zed's on the hunt.
Yeah, very intuitive play there from the Lee Sin.
Yeah.
Alright, so Renekton's kind of still working away with these guys.
He's still just hanging in there, but, he definitely has the sustain to, hang it out.
I don't know if that's going to work out so well for him. Dragon is still up, by the way. It's about 12 minutes into the game. Nobody's really looking at that. If anyone should do it, I feel like it's Red Team. They've got 2 characters bottom. Definitely could utilize that.
Yeah, RedMercy now does have a bit of 30 CS lead on the Evelyn, and definitely a level advantage. While he is going to get the mid tower first, which is going to give quite a positional advantage to this team. So yeah, they can definitely posture around for Dragon now. Yeah,
and I definitely am looking forward to seeing him do that. But we have seen in these games, it is a solo queue hero tournament. Not a lot of coordination, and the Dragon is the thing that basically prospers because it stays alive.
Solo queue hero indeed, man. This Jarvan's straight going to Hex Drinker. Not really tanking up for the team at all. I'm not exactly sure if that's the wise decision, and that might prevent them from being able to take this early on Dragon. Zed definitely can't tank it, and I don't think Jarvan can tank it now either with that item build.
I think he's just building that for against the Evelyn because nobody else really is doing magic damage.
Yeah, I guess, but the Evelyn really isn't going to be. The Jarvan is not her primary target.
Right. I definitely agree there. Okay, so Ezreal is just again continuing to push bottom. I'm so surprised that a tower has not been dropped in the outer lanes, and shockingly, it's the Zed in mid that picks up a turret. But that's just kind of the way she goes sometimes. Evelyn is in top lane, waiting for this kill very patiently. Let's see how this turns out. There's Leona with the ultimate. In comes the Evelyn. Is it going to be enough? There's the ultimate from Kayle. Let's see this if this turns around. Sivir tries to get some more damage off, but in comes Zed with the ultimate. That's a kill. He'll switch targets. Whoa.
2 kills. 3 kills, and they
kills.
don't even pick up the Kayle in the man. Yeah, you cannot all in a Kayle on her tower like that. No, whatsoever. Pick another lane to do it. Not the champion with an ultimate that nullifies everything that's coming at her.
You know, RedMercy has been around the LoL scene for a long time, and he's very, very good. But I think he might be learning something today where just about roaming. Like, every time he roams, it's just so good. And he hasn't started roaming until the last couple of games.
Yeah, he's definitely picking up on this roaming a lot more and having to follow the enemy mid lane around. And you know what? It's definitely showing here how much it's helping his team out.
Right, so Kale pushing down on this top, and I hope that Kale doesn't get to crack this turret before the Sivir Leona combo. In comes Lee Sin, though. There's going to be 4 characters top lane, leaving mid and bottom wide open.
Yeah, Lee Sin the kick there, and doesn't have an ultimate this time. 2 Chainz finally picks up a kill and says, alright, let's get this started.
Yeah, they will drop that turret, no problem. I don't think that they need 3 characters for it. Evelyn's going to start roaming around the enemy jungle, and they need to do something about mid tower. Ezreal also needs to try to crack bot, because that thing has been alive for way too long.
I'm a little surprised that, you know, gold difference is only 3k, considering the huge lead that RedMercy definitely has on the net. It's going to go up even more, though. They're definitely going to take this dragon. They see 3 top, and it looks like Team Placebo actually decides, no, we're going to go for tier 2 then if you guys are going to go for dragon. It's not particularly going to work out. Last time you guys tried to 3v2 the Zed and the Kale.
But they will get the Evelyn, no problem.
And the Evelyn doesn't even get the ulti, actually. She just disappears.
Oh!
So we do see the dragon pick up for Team RedMercy, and they're going to quickly secure the blue for Ezreal over here. We are seeing a significant lead now for most of the lanes. Renekton and Kale, no, actually the 2 kill difference definitely vaults Kale up even more again, and we're once again seeing, you know, Ezreal and Zed ahead of their lane counterparts.
Very, very true. Now, again, I'm so impressed with the ward coverage from both of these teams. It's definitely looking like Placebo has a bit of an advantage in that realm, but you've got an Evelyn, and it's all about those pink wards for the red team, which they do have up. So arguably, red side is actually doing quite well as well.
Yeah, you know, especially with the extra money they got, you know, to spend the money for the pink wards, get that around so they know if Evelyn's coming for them. Yes, she does get to kill him, but it tells them that she's coming, and that could, you know, that saves them a death. That's way more.
Now Sivir's trying to clear out this bottom wave. Since they have cracked top, they get the lane swap back going here, and it's going to be Kale against Renekton in top lane. And Ezreal and Annie have not moved from bottom lane.
No, they haven't really needed to. Oh man, Renekton, huge amount of trouble here. The EQ kind of missing. Does he get it?
Oh.
Wow, he does get the escape over here. Good slice and dice by the Renekton. A little bit of a misjudgment on Jarvan's part there. He EQ'd a little bit early. You know, he was still slow from Kale. He just didn't expect that, I guess.
Right. So there's Lee Sin getting chopped up here by Kale, and Kale's still a very big threat. 2, 1, and 3, and does have 108 CS. We saw her getting picked on, but still, she is big right now.
Yeah. So we're seeing Sivir and Leona here putting some pressure onto their bot lane. Looks like they really want to work on that turret, while Zed's attention is focused elsewhere. Yeah,
and he's going towards top lane. It looked like he was chasing the Evelyn for a second there. Evelyn just kind of looped back around, but Zed is now going to get into the mix here. I don't know if they're going to be able to do this. Is Cataclysm available? No, it's not, so they're not going to be able to lock that one up.
Yeah, Zed just roaming around now. He's really far ahead. He's already finished his Blaze of Ruin King and his Brutalizer, looking to pick up some kills, make some presence on the map, trying to make some plays. Huge play going on to this this Annie over here. I'm just really surprised we didn't see a boomerang come out from the Sivir, actually.
Yeah, that was a bit weird.
That was a little off.
Oh no, and then Pinball being played with Kale here, but she does crack the turret. Might be able to get away from this one. Is the Requiem still online? Yes, it is. She's probably going to save that.
Still has her ultimate.
She gets away, though. Now in the bottom lane, Minfresh is going to get dropped.
2 Chainz does manage to pick up the kill, but he will get picked up by Reckles over there.
Nice job. Yeah, and I like the way that Ezreal flashed for the auto attack rather than just firing a Q from distance.
Right,
that's
just in case he misses,
dodgeable.
Right? So RedMercy puts the ulti onto Renekton there, easy kill pickup. They do manage to get that bottom turret, which puts them even in turret still. But Team RedMercy is securing objectives and kills elsewhere, which is just putting them more and more ahead now. It is 5k gold distance.
Yeah, so it's a little bit weird right now. Everybody's kind of getting kind of crazy across the map right now, but a 5k difference in favor of RedMercy with those 7 extra kills. The dragon, the towers. Actually, the towers are tied right now. Yeah. But I definitely think that more pressure needs to be put on bottom. Send somebody else down there. Send the Jarvan. Just crack that turret. The thing needs to go.
Yeah, and we're seeing the Lich Bane first out of the Kale this time. She's working towards the Sheen, not the the death cap. I think she learned it from that. Ooh, we are seeing Ezreal getting caught out a little here. He doesn't quite have what it takes to escape, and yeah, it's an easy pickup for him. Pickup for the Evelyn. Want to avoid that as much as you can. Don't really give him a chance to come back into it like they did last time around.
Very true. Okay, so 2 chains, 2 rings. It seems as though he's going to be doing a little bit of jungling here, and I think this is where he's going to start to do the whole jungle
the whole split push,
thing.
the whole split push, because he's almost finished his death cap. He's already got the Fiendish Condex and the needlessly large rod. With that kill, he's definitely picked up more than enough gold to finish off.
Very true. All right. Lisa, gotta love that back animation.
I feel like they picked up Sivir around this time as well, so when the enemy team decides to all in them, they have a much easier time disengaging.
Now let's take a look at these items here as well. We're seeing a bit of a different kind of approach here from the Jarvan, going with that Hex Drinker. Now, it looks like he's going to turn it into a Maw very, very quickly, and I really don't know if I agree with that.
I think they basically want to send Jarvan off as the 1v1 against Evelyn. I'm just not sure if that's enough still.
Yeah.
You can have the Maw, but she's still going to burst through you. You don't have any... He doesn't have any real max HP. He's got a Ruby Crystal on him. That's about it. In a team fight, though, like, I don't know. He's going to kind of melt to the Sivir, especially if they need him in order to break the siege.
Yeah, and half the time Evelyn's going to overkill by a couple hundred damage anyways.
Yeah.
So, doesn't really mean too much. Okay, so Dragon is back online in 40 seconds. RedMercy seems to have map control right now, though Evelyn, again, just roaming around, doing the whole jungle creeping thing, seeing if she can find somebody to pick off, though she's not quite strong enough yet. She does need... Or sorry, she does have actually Deathfire Grasp now. She's going for the Lich Bane next, and after that, she can 100% burst anybody on the team.
Yeah, it looks like RedMercy is right now just posturing around Dragon as well, as Evelyn seems, happens to be in the same area. They've got plenty of board coverage around that pink ward. Definitely very useful.
Wow.
Not quite able to take out that pink ward. Maybe, yeah. So RedMercy a little out of position, so they get the free pink ward pick on that. Evelyn, though, in deep trouble now. Yeah. Only got one way to go.
Yeah, definitely only one way to go. So they know where she is. It's just whether or not she went to the left. Very good stuff. They're clearing all their opportunities here, and they're definitely going to pinch her down.
Oh, man, the jukes, the reads. And Evelyn still manages to get out of that somehow. Jarvan caught on his own. Oh, man, and RedMercy now going to try again, and this is what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about. When the entire team wants to come around and they want to try to all in, the Sivir's going to pop her all, and they're just going to bail. They're just going to completely backpedal.
Wow.
Still gets the kill on the Sivir regardless, unfortunately. But I feel like it would have been way worse. The entire team would have been caught instead of just Sivir. RedMercy did have to blow Flash there in order to get it off. Pop the DFG.
Wow. It's
not
good.
gonna. Yes, he is gonna get the kill over there.
That's
yeah,
crazy.
You can't send him to Ezreal to 1v1 the Evelyn. That's suicide type stuff. So they are gonna pick up the tier 2 middle. Again, the RedMercy's early game advantage just lifts these. He's at 184, 7-0. He can kind of push his way around.
Yeah, and this is what he wanted for the longest time. I'd be willing to bet he's just been sitting there waiting for a game where he can really kind of flex and kind of show off what he's capable of. He's been doing it in the beginning stages, but right now it's been tough in this best of 3. This is the game, and if it really comes down to it, he's going to have to do some bursting. Across the board, though, Kayle has been very useful. Jarvan, the build is weird, but I'm going to go ahead and say that he's probably going to be super useful here as well. And Annie, I'm just waiting for her to really lead the charge.
That's really smart. Evelyn just staying out of sight range, so they can't really see what's going on. And then as soon as she's realized that most of them have backed off, they're just like, "Hey guys, there's a free dragon waiting for us here." All of them just went back. Yeah. Once again, moving off from the split push. I mean, he's just doing what he does best.
RedMercy's team has been making some good calls, but I don't think that they've been making the best calls, specifically because of things like that. Dragon they went back right in front of Dragon.
Yeah, and like,
wow.
Speaking of not the best calls.
Yeah, looking pretty decent here. And the speed up, guaranteed.
But yeah, as I said, like, the Sivir and the Lee Sin picks definitely to help with disengaging. And this is where you really wish you had a death cap.
Goodbye. And you did mention in the beginning the way the ultimate's been reworked. Yeah. He just made sure he's like, well, I know you're dead from my ult. I'm just going to go ahead and leave before you try to turn.
Yeah, so at the moment, I mean, the Evelyn just doesn't have the burst damage to take out the Zed in one go. and so they can safely send Zed to 1v1 while everyone else goes in. Overall, Team RedMercy has an advantage, and so they can, they can just force objectives like this.
Right.
The annoying part about Evelyn is once she gets to the critical point where she can 1v1 anyone on your team, is you're going to have to start sending multiple people after her. However, they've managed to keep her pretty tame this game in comparison to the last game.
Right. Alright, so Red Buff's about to go down here, and very simple things like that are going to be happening across the board. It is a steal, and Kale just getting in there, doing work, but Evelyn is there to say something about it. A teleport coming in behind the Kale. I'm not sure why she stayed in there, but I'm assuming she's going to drop. Renekton not quite as tanky as he wants to be. Lots of tower shots going down here as well, as the Mince Fresh is taking a serious amount of damage. Everybody has to back off now. RedMercy looking pretty low. Oh, half health.
Yeah, Team RedMercy there got kind of caught. They're like between the turrets.
Oh, there we go. There's just the slow, and that's going to be good enough.
Oh, that's going to be good enough. Ezreal gets the initiation. Lee Sin gets the kick. And this is, this is where their team excels at. They excel at chasing and disengaging because of the Sivir and the Evelyn picks.
Yeah, now Evelyn's going to continue to move forward here. I think Kale's going to be waiting for her in the bush. There's the exhaust going down, trying to find the Jarvan. He gets to the other side of the wall. There's a Lee Sin kick.
And the Kale does find the Evelyn, actually.
Ouch.
Ouch, and that's a bit of a loss on their part. And he whiffs the second kick.
That's always a bad feeling. Kale comes in here looking for a kill and not paying attention.
Renekton does go down.
Oh, this is really terrible here. Mince Fresh now going to turn things around as well.
Man, we just went from actually like, a really good change of events, just turned back into, we just lost a bunch of people again. And RedMercy is just split pushing middle like no tomorrow once again. He's going to get that inhibitor turret. There's not much they can do to stop him, and his ultimate's up again. Actually, if Sivir tries to stop him in a 1v1, he will kill her. So it's going to be up to Evelyn here to do something.
Yeah, and she leads the way with this
actually.
Oh!
And just instantly melts him, actually. Wow.
That's like the alley-oop. Sets him up, knocks it down.
Yeah.
Evelyn's going to keep moving forward here, gets those minions away from her now exposed inhibitor.
Does get the shotgun goal, which is what she wants. But again, this is really like a really different case from game number 2, where it was more even. Placebo has always been kind of playing in the behind position, and it's not always worked out for them.
All right. Good job. Kale kind of sweeping around here looking for her own blue. It's going to get caught up here. Evelyn, so crazy.
Evelyn, you can't do this. No. And yeah, once again, the Kale ult just proving why it is such a great tool to deal with assassins like Evelyn.
Very smart stuff, and she's going to heal herself up there. Now, Lichbane on the
Kale?
The Kale,
yes.
That's right, and then Lichbane on the
Evelyn.
Is she going to be going for another Void Staff, do you think? When I see that book...
I really hope it's not another Void Staff. Yeah. I'm really hoping it's an Hourglass.
Alright, and again, even if she wants to go for that split push, the Void Staff is not as good as the Zhonya's.
They're going to force the Baron. Man, Team RedMercy definitely going to force the Baron now that they see that Evelyn is bottom lane. And I really don't think that Placebo has what it takes to stop this Baron. There's just too much damage coming out from Team RedMercy at the moment.
Yeah, in comes Zed.
Look at that, he just ults onto Lee
God.
Sin. The triple stun from Annie. Wow, what a team-breaking skill.
That is crazy. And you know what? In the midst of all of this, you've got Evelyn still pushing down on that inhibitor. So that one loss is going to be paid back by the fact that this inhibitor might go down. Now, Sivir is going to try to get in there to stop people from going back, which is very important, but some people do get back.
No,
here comes Zed.
Here comes the home guard Zed.
Is he going to catch up?
Can't make it out. He's going to... Oh, never mind. Alright, so he does not have his Blade of the Rune King up. Otherwise, he would have easily secured that kill on her. She did manage to push out an inhibitor turret, but at what cost? At what cost? RedMercy did manage to secure Baron, and she... Oh no, she's gonna get caught.
She's gone.
She is so gone. She just really wants that inhibitor, and she's not gonna...
Whoa, he sneaks by!
No. There's no way. No.
Just a room full of no's today. Okay, so 7-18 the kills, a pretty decent lead for RedMercy.
Yeah, looks like they'll manage to pick up a mid turret here. Maybe Kale coming to ward them off. She's doing so much damage. Puts the ignite onto Lee Sin. They gotta get out of there. Jarvan's already done his fly toss. Oh, does put down the Cataclysm. They can't really disengage from this. They're trying so hard.
Go,
Annie. The last one.
Not enough.
And they actually somehow all make it out of that with just barely negative. 3 of them in the red.
I'm impressed.
Yeah.
Dragon's
so
up in
open,
3.
yeah, Dragon's up in 3. Open inhibitor here going to be the first thing to go for sure, though. Baron buff up, not much to stop them at all. Evelyn is back up, but again, with the build that she's currently running, she did manage to get another Void Staff. She can't go into the full frontal fights.
Right, she's going to be doing a lot of damage, and it's been working for her for picking people off in the past, so she's going to stick with it. I don't think that she should be doing this. She's got to get in there with the team fights.
Yeah, for sure. I think she's going to try to go for the split push again, but the problem is this time there's more, man. She's like, again, the pink wards are being put up, and it's very likely that
oh god, here we go. Big
kill.
kill. Zed's going to pick that one up.
This Zed is so huge at the moment.
Still has his ultimate.
He just needs people to hold him in place.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Ezreal comes across as well, and that's going to spur on this Jarvan to keep moving forward. Red buff has been procced onto the Leona.
Wow, just barely misses the Leona, and they do manage to disengage. But what can Evelyn do? She can't really go do the split pushing anymore. If she does, then she just risks losing the game for her team, and that's the problem with split pushing. You're leaving your team 4v5 constantly.
Yeah, and Evelyn makes sure to show herself just barely. Try to get them to back off. It's not going to work out so well. Ezreal's just firing some blind Qs, trying to hit the stealth character. Not going to work so well. Turret goes down. Very easy pickup and some nice global gold.
Yeah, RedMercy grouping very well and knowing exactly how far they can push a turret before they have to send someone back for Evelyn. And that's earned them Baron, an inhibitor, and this time they haven't even lost their inhibitor. So definitely they've gotten way more used to dealing with this split push coming out from Evelyn. And I feel like, I don't know, Placebo really should have thought this through from trying the exact same thing. It didn't win you game number 2. Why did you think it would win you game number 3?
And Zed going for the exact same build as well, which definitely worked out. In she goes, though. She got a giant shield on herself. And this actually might work out for Placebo. The Leona ultimate comes in.
But and he does get the stun onto her. Ezreal kind of out of fight, but there's just so much damage coming out of everyone else.
Yeah.
Kayle, Ezreal, and Zed are still alive. While they do have all 5 team members, that was pretty much all the ultimates blown, and they can't do anything now. They've got to defend their Nexus turrets. Second inhibitor is going to go down, and Evelyn is nowhere close to base.
Yeah, she's just behind them. I think she's looking to do some split pushing. Yeah, she's just going to make a mad dash. No, she will not.
They're going to end the game here if she tries to do that again. They're going to go in for the 3rd inhibitor turret.
Yeah, this is really brutal. There's a lot of minions there, and this is just going to be just a war of attrition. Just wait it out. See if you can pick up that last little chunk with some minions. Maybe they're going to wait for another Baron, but they've still got the one on, so it'll be several minutes. There we go. It does run out. Dragon's up. I don't think that they need that. Just buff yourself, get some elixirs going, and just push with the minions.
Yeah, they can definitely just push with the minions now. There actually isn't that great of a wave clear coming out from Placebo, which I think is a bit of an issue with your team comp. They really shouldn't have picked the Renekton again into the Kayle pick, even with the 1v2. How good do you expect that to go?
Right.
You see the gold disparity here. There's almost a 5k gold lead on every single one of their carries. The only difference here is that the 80 carries are relatively even, but in this game where the assassins are reigning supreme, that doesn't really matter. Right.
So we're going to see if they're going to be able to maybe hold this off. It does not look very good. Jarvan now walking around with a Warmogs and a Maw of Malmortius. Kind of a silly little build, but it's working out pretty decently as he does have the team to back him up. Nice little ward clear there. Just making sure they got some nice map control as they will move forward. Zed, though, gets caught up.
Zed does get caught, but he has more than enough damage to finish her off.
And he zaps himself back to the middle.
Zaps himself back. Wow, and the Kayle can just save him. That is it. And with the mana backs, that is the end of the game for sure.
Yeah, very nice play there. And RedMercy, holy crap. That last play just went to show how good this dude is with his mechanics. Ulting his way forward and saving. He literally traveled so friggin' far. He traveled like a quarter of the way across the map to kill that Evelyn, then zapped right back. Unreal.
I mean, speaking to be honest, I think there's just not... Placebo really didn't give the respect that RedMercy's team deserved there. They didn't ban out the Zed. They didn't ban out the Kayle at all, even though they had so much trouble dealing with that game number 2.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was a little disappointing to see, but a hard-earned and well-earned victory, actually, from a 1-0 to a 2-1 for RedMercy's team.
Right. You go with what you're comfortable with, and sometimes the enemy team, what they're comfortable with, just happens to be a nice raw counter. Worked out very nice, and we're going to go on to the finals, which we might be doing a best of 1 for that. We'll see. We'll see. It's unorthodox, but anyways, we're going to go take off and see what the players are up to. We're going to try to get this done quick.